Hello friends. This is Becky with Becky Budgets, just coming on here to go ahead and do our monthly closeout for July of 2022. If you are new to this channel, my husband and I are currently on a journey to pay off $69,000 worth of debt in order to possibly get into our first home within the next 5 years. Now, the order of my videos this week has changed quite a bit because I always get paid on the first of the month and it hasn't posted yet. So I haven't had the actual numbers for our first week in August video. And I also, because of that, haven't been able to pull money out for our cash stuffing. So what I decided to do is to go ahead and do the closeout for this month, and hopefully we'll be able to get back on course by next week. Perfect. So, as always, I do use the Budget Mom's free resources on her website. It's under monthly budget, and this is what I use to calculate the expenses for the month overall, instead of doing those weekly expenses that I do. So my income for the month of July was $4,100. My husband's income came in as $3,144, and we did not get any extra income. So when I add those two values together, we end up with $7,244. Now, to see what the difference is between these two, I'm going to go ahead and take our budgeted amount away, and that gives us an overage of $506. So rent did come in a little less than what we had budgeted at $1,976. Subscriptions was right on at $64. Excel did come in under budget, but it was still higher than it has been within the last couple months. And if you watched my monthly budget for August, it did quite another jump this month. So we have a higher bill for August. Now, it did come in as $208. If you're new to the channel, Excel is our gas and electric. My husband's phone did come in as $57. T-Mobile was that set 100. Xfinity, we ended up getting a very small adjustment on the account. It said something about sports broadcasting, so it came in at like 147 something, but it was relatively the same. Allstate stayed at 143, and then Nationwide actually went up to 154. They actually went ahead and renewed Linus's Linus's pet insurance, and so the new cycle went up $11. Now, as far as unbudgeted goes, if you saw my video this Wednesday, I did have $29 of unbudgeted expenses. Now, for the purposes of my budget, I'm actually going to put those in parentheses because I'm not going to count them. The reason I'm not going to count the $29 is because we do have an overage in gas, and one of you lovely subscribers gave me the wonderful advice and to go ahead and just take this unbudgeted amount out of the overage from gas, and that was perfect for us because then it wouldn't adjust we wouldn't have to adjust our budget. And then if you do remember at the beginning of July, we did cash flow our renter's insurance. It was $105. So when I add these values together, we get a value of $2,955. Moving on to our variable expenses, we did put $400 towards food, $300 towards gas, $150 towards our dogs. Hubby got his $150. I got my $100, and then eating out and miscellaneous got filled. So when I add those values together, they should equal what we had budgeted. And it does. So that gives us a total of $1,225. Now, when we come down to the debt section, our credit card payments actually came down. It was because in the month of July, we had done a balance transfer from my husband's Dell account to Barclay. And so the minimum went down drastically because of that. So we ended up paying $385 in minimum to our credit cards. Upstart was that set $1,652. Advantage came in for $96 for the very last month. It goes up next month. Barclay, we ended up putting $241 towards our Barclay. And Capital One got a $50 overage. Now, in the month of August, we actually did a balance transfer of the Capital One to my husband's account. And they did charge us about $53 for the transfer fee. But that being said, we are going to be saving about $258 because of that transfer. So we found it to be a pretty good deal. So let's go ahead and add these totals together. And that gets us to a total of $2,424. Now moving over to our savings, we did end up putting $114 towards my 52-week challenge, which goes towards Christmas. We put $114 towards my husband's, which goes towards sorry about that. My husband's computer's making a weird sound, so I do apologize. So we did put $114 towards moving expenses, and then our sinking funds did get those $400. So when we add these values together, that gets us $628, which coincides with what we had budgeted. Now, to go ahead and close out down here, we do have an income total of $7,244. And then when we add the sum of these numbers together, so our fixed expenses plus our variable expenses plus our debt, and finally our savings, we end up with a total of $7,232. Now, when I take the total expenses away from our income, we end up with a positive value of 12. Now, this was spot on because we ended up putting $12 or about $12 into our buffer throughout the month. If you noticed, because I'm trying to bulk that up as much as I can, I ended up putting about $2 to $3 a week in that. And so that's perfect. It ended up right on track. Now, one of the reasons why I am absolutely in love with the Budget Moms Budget by Paycheck workbook is because of the detailed closeout section that it has at the end of the month. I have found that this has been the trick to me staying on track with our budget. So, just going into how the whole month came out, our minimum balances, our current balances gave us a total of $135,415.43. We paid $2,132.48 just in minimum payments. We did pay an extra $291.58 as extra payments to try to pay off debt, which gave us a total of $2,424.06. Now, comparing that to last month, we ended up paying off a total of $1,583.03. Now, I like to calculate what money we actually paid into interest because that's a big motivator for me to stay on track. So if we only got $1,583 off of our debt and our payment was $2,424, that means that we paid $841.03 to interest. That pains me. Now, in 1 month, we were able to do a total debt progress of 1.16%. And then when we go over here to our overall debt progress, which is from the point we started until today, we're currently sitting at having paid off $4,554.04, which gives us an overall debt progress of $3.25%. Now, we were struggling there the first couple months because we had taken out that consolidation loan. And the consolidation loan actually brought our total debt, it spiked it up a little bit, and then it took us about 2 months to bring it back down. So it brings so much joy to my heart to see that that is a positive percentage and not a negative percentage. Now, as far as the tracking of our payments go, as you know, as I had mentioned, we are still paying the minimum that we were initially paying on the Capital One. This is for the Capital One. So even though it is our number 2 debt to pay off, because we've kept it at its normal minimum, we've been able to take off a good 5% off of the principal in the 2 months we've been doing this. So that being said, once we pay those $53, the $80 that we put towards that Capital One principal is going to have this move a lot faster. Now, this debt is 0% through August of next year. So we are still going to try to get the Dell paid off as soon as possible before we fully tackle this one. Now, here's our tracker for the Dell. I didn't hit my goal. I wanted to get to 25% by the end of this month, but that's okay. The reason that's okay is because we did do a balance transfer. Overall, that balance transfer was going to save us about $1,300 in interest. So, although we paid $141 I think it was $102 for the transfer fee, which was part of the reason why it held us back in paying. I am looking forward to see how fast it jumps forward now that we have 0 interest. That being said, we did pay this month 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So we paid 4.5% on top of that transfer fee, which is a big feat for me. I was happy with that. I was expecting just to make the transfer fee amount and then just be behind a month. But I was really happy that we were able to color in a couple of those. Now, moving in to our net worth. If you remembered last month, our net worth was at negative $11,033.76. I am ecstatic with the number that came up this month. Our total net worth this month came in as negative $5,581.28. Now that's an increase of $5,452.48, mostly because our retirement funds slightly went up, and because we've continued to pay off debt. As this number comes down and this number goes up, it evens out to moving that net worth to a better position. Now, looking at percentages, we were able to make a change in percentage of 49.4%, which made me very happy. Now, when we go ahead and take a look at our monthly budget category breakdown, to be honest with you, we were pretty much under budget in every category except for our pet insurance. And that was due to the renewal of the policy. So we ended up paying $10.37 more than usual on that. I'm happy that it wasn't anything other than just a renewal. And I was happy with how the month turned out. Now, based on our starting balance of the month, plus our earned income and the savings we used, we had an actual total monthly inflow of $7,418.36. Now that value comes into effect here on this page, which basically explains to me how our money that went towards debt or savings breaks down per account. So based on our monthly inflow, which was at $7,418.36, we were able to pay off, or we were able to put towards debt because we were only able to pay off about $1,500. But we were able to put $2,424.06 towards our debt. That means that 32.7% of our inflow went to pay off debt. When we come over here to savings, based on our income, which was the $7,244, we ended up saving a total of $628. Now that gives us a percentage of us putting 8.67% of our monthly income into savings. As always, this worked out the way I wanted it to. I want to put the majority of our money towards paying off debt because we are in a debt payment plan, and still save a little bit towards savings. So I'm really happy to see that this was 32% and that a little less than 10% of our income went towards savings. Taking a look at how this breaks down, our Upstart loans usually take the bulk of what of the percentage that we pay towards debt. So it's not a surprise that Upstart 1 is 38.8 and Upstart 2 is 29.3. So what I look for is, what is the third largest? So when I go up this list, it's going to be that Barclay card, which has that Dell account or principal, and that's the one that we are attacking. So I'm happy to see that about 10% of our monthly inflow, and I mean 10% of what we paid towards debt went towards that Barclay, because that is what we're trying to pay off. Now, when you look at savings, we had about 36.3% that went into our Christmas and moving fund, and then we had 63.7% that went towards our sinking funds. Now, here on the last page is our monthly spending comparison. So basically what this sheet does is that it compares our July amounts with our June amounts on the set categories that I'm tracking. So one thing to note right off the bat is that our monthly inflow actually went up $725.29. Now, when I look over here at the change amount, rent slightly went down. Our Excel went up 46.56, so $46.56. So that was a pretty big jump, because we've been having about $160 a month. So it was a shock to see it at $207, but I think that that was just a pre-shock to the big shock that I felt when I saw the amount for this month. Credit cards did end up coming down. That has a lot to do with the fact that our minimum payments came down. In the month of June, T-Mobile had actually given us a birthday discount. So when that wasn't applied in July, that amount did go up. Now, nationwide, here's that $10.92. Once again, because of the policy, we ended up paying $94 more in July than we did in June, mostly because I had already, back in June, I had capped out the pet envelope with $56. They ended up getting groomed this month. They needed their food this month. They needed treats. So it was a pretty heavy month for our dogs. So I did end up filling the $150, and then based on my next month budget, I'm going to have to put another $70 to get it back to the $200 I like to have it at. But that does explain why we had an overage of $94 in that category. Looks like the last one that we had an overage in was our eating out. I did our quarterly update right here at the end of June. And one of the things that I noticed was that we were going over and eating out. So we added $25 to that. And this is that month that shows that increase. Now, what did make me a little sad is that we didn't have as much go into our savings. So we actually paid, even though we had an overage of $725.29, we actually went down in savings. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just, I wasn't expecting to see that. So it was a little bit of a surprise. That being said, I think that July was a really good month. When we started the month, we had a prediction or a budget that had us at a negative $245 deficit. So to see that with our variable income, we were able to bring that up so that we were actually able to cash flow more money than we had budgeted and still have an overage of $12 is awesome to me. This is probably the best month that we've had since we started budgeting. So in conclusion, I know that this budgeting thing is doing what it's supposed to. So if we do not get to where we want to, it's user error and not the budget's fault. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you who has taken the time out of your day to watch this content. I hope each and every one of you has an amazing day, that you have a wonderful weekend, and that you take care. Thank you very much, friends. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.